Don't look at my notes.
Okay.
You're listening to Trifecta
want you to be
Sound on
surprised.
ISO.
What up, everybody? This is G, and welcome to Super Dope, the monthly radio show podcast where we nerd out about music and other things we find super dope. It's the new year. This is the 12th one that we've done. We recorded the first one about the same time last year, like right at the end of last year, and we're doing this at the very beginning of the year. So shout out to us for making it to 12. I got my homie to my left of me who helped me start it all. Say what up, Randall.
What up? Happy New Year, everyone.
Yes, Happy New Year. Because it's the new year, I wanted to take this time to kind of look back at the past and talk about a couple good things and highlights that we had from 2024, and then look ahead and talk about some things we're looking forward to for the new year in 2025. With that being said, let's start off with 2024 highlights. What was your highlight of the year? If you had one moment in 2024, whatever it may be, it doesn't have to be, it could be personal, it could be something music or movie related, just one really, really major thing that was your highlight of the year.
All right, so G posed me this question yesterday, so I had to think about
Yesterday, it was like an hour ago.
Honestly, not a lot was happening with me in 2024, and I'm sure like a lot of people probably similar. It was a lot of up and down. But personally, there were definitely some highlights I had with like my family and my friends. But I'll go with something personal, and it's not necessarily anything that's like an achievement, but more so just kind of glad that I completed like my own task. So in 2023, near the end of it, I just wanted to dive deeper into music and just be a little bit more methodical with listening to music. So I think I've told you this before, where like basically I tried to listen to 100. Well, it's every decade. Top 100 list based off of Pitchfork's best 100 of each decade. So I did from the 60s to the 2000s. So at minimum I did 60, 70, 80, 90. I listened to 500 albums from like the end of 2023 to just recently. So like when I finished it was in December of 2024. So it took me about like a year and more, but like I did take detours in between, because like if something we'll talk about, like if I had a concert, like I saw Wilco last year, like I would do their deep dive, or my partner and we saw Thames, so I listened to all her music. Trinata, I did a little mini deep dive there. Beach Fossil. So like anytime like I had a show I wanted to prepare for, so I would do like a deep dive in their stuff. But yeah, like at minimum I listened to 500 albums. I was doing the work for absolutely no one.
But I mean, that's impressive.
It's psychotic. It's what it is.
I feel like it's easier because they give you like every single album you need to listen to, as opposed to you picking your own. Like I'm so indecisive with picking music I want to listen to on the drive, or like even just trying to watch something in the middle of the night. Like it'll take me forever. So yeah, it's impressive that you actually pulled that feed off,
bro. That's the thing. Like to me, like something I love about Spotify, obviously. I don't want to get into like whether or not they pay their artists properly, but
they don't. Like, I've made $4 on Spotify.
Well, yeah, whether or not like they're a good company or anything, like obviously, like you have basically like all of music history at your disposal. So I wanted to like utilize like the tool like as much as possible. There are like ups and downs with it, right? Like I listen to so much music that like I'm forgetting a lot of the stuff that I've listened to, because I probably on average I probably listen to like 2 albums a day.
2 new ones a day.
2 new ones. Well, not necessarily new, because like I would go in order of on the list. Like I would start at number 1 and then go to the top. So like they progressively get worse, but like getting worse is like not really getting worse. These are like the 100 best albums.
It's the evolution of
But
so at the end of it, were you listening to like Future and like Uzi and shit?
Well, no, I didn't get into the 2010s. So like I stopped at 2000s. Like they have a list for the 100 best albums of the 2010s, but like I kind of have a good grasp of what those are. Like, you know, it's like Frank Ocean's at the top. Like there's
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like Lana Del Rey, I think, is in like the top 10. Like I haven't listened to that, but like I was more so interested in doing this so that one, like I could discover new music and obviously get like my own like little mini music lesson, like music history lesson.
Yeah, that's dope. Like I wish I could. Like I'm so ADD with things that I feel like I can't do that with music or movies. Like I'm so bad at catching up with, like, there's so many classic movies I haven't seen and classic albums that I haven't listened to. And for me being like a music and movie head, like I feel like I'm doing myself a disservice by not catching up to these things. But yeah, yo, good on you for being able to do that. And like 500 albums, that's a bit. That's quite a bit.
It's a sad accomplishment, but I was happy that I was done. So now I get to like, now what I'm doing is like, so I have like a spreadsheet where like I chose which ones I thought like were like were great, like that I want to like revisit.
Yeah.
So then I would like, you know, explore that artist a little bit more. But to your point of like the reason why I wanted to do it too is because like Spotify again has like, you have so much music at your disposal, and like sometimes I'm just like picking like random, like this is whatever artist's playlist, and it just seems like I don't know, like I want like I want like it to be a little bit more curated, so it's like when I have like an album I could just be like, okay, I'm throwing this on, I don't have to waste my time choosing, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I wish I could do that.
Yeah.
Sometimes it'll take me ages just to pick something to watch or listen to. But yeah, so 500 albums is your highlight of the year.
Or just finishing the list.
I mean, that's impressive.
Yeah.
So,
and the last album I did was a really good one. The Clientele, the Suburban Light. It was great album.
I was like Supreme Clientele.
Yeah, well, no, that was actually pretty high. That was like in the top 10 or something in the 2000s. It was a great album.
Cool. So yeah, that's your highlight of the year is 500 albums. Getting through that list. It's a feat.
Yeah, I'm free now to do what
Not
I
gonna
want.
listen to whatever I want. Not gonna listen to indie rock again. Dope. That's crazy. For me, my highlight of the year, and I've been wanting to talk about this for a bit, at least be able to have a conversation and talk into detail about this. But my highlight of the year was definitely performing at Celebration Square in Saga, and performing for Phil Fest and opening for Jeremy Passion and Gabe Bondoc. That was my number one highlight of the year by far.
I'm sad that I missed it, but it looked awesome from the
Thought we were friends,
from all the
man.
homies. No, I think I
No,
had
I know
like, a
you had a
birthday
thing.
party,
You had a thing. Yeah, like it was. Yeah, it was. So what had happened was, long story short, I applied for. Every year, Phil Fest does a big performance at Celebration Square for. No, I guess it's not for Philippine Independence Day, but a big Filipino event basically where they get headliners to come perform, and it's a whole thing for the Filipino community, especially for the ones out in Mississauga. So I, like anything that I really, really want to apply for or like try to perform for, I'll keep tabs of when they're putting the call outs for these submissions, and like I submit the very first day. And I know my peoples at PhilCam Music, they had a segment the past 2 years. But like, and I performed with them countlessly, but I just wanted to jump the gun and be like, instead of asking through our PhilCam peoples, I was just like, I'm just gonna apply directly just so I don't miss this opportunity now. So when I ended up getting this show, I got in just as a solo act and not connected to PhilCam, but I still got to like rock out with them on stage and stuff, which is cool. And then and this was like long before they announced who the headliners were, and maybe like 2 or 3 weeks before the show they announced who was headlining, and it was like I was like in the middle of the night scrolling on my phone, and then they posted it in the middle of the night, and it said Jeremy Passion and Gabe Bondoc. I was like, wait a second, like
the
like,
Passion.
is this for real?
Yeah.
Yeah, because like we grew up listening to them on YouTube and getting their music from like Kazaa and LimeWire and stuff like that. So for me to grow up listening to these artists that I looked up to for so long in my life, and then to be able to open for them was it was insane. It was the craziest thing.
What day was that again? Like was in the summer?
So it was September 14th, which is my mom's birthday.
So that was
Yeah,
so
you were busy
it was
that
my
day.
niece's birthday. Yeah, sorry. Dude.
I see where your allegiances lie, but it's whatever. We'll talk about it later. Yeah, so it was my mom's birthday that day. So, but she was in the Philippines, and I did a video getting the whole crowd of like. The crowd. It was like a million people, like millions and millions of people.
Yeah, you sound like Trump.
Yeah. Give or take a couple zeros.
It was huge.
Yeah. Give or take a couple of zeros, but yeah, it was a lot of people. I got everyone to wish her a happy birthday, which is cool because she couldn't be there. But yeah, it was dope. Like I got to perform at Celebration Square once before, but to a much smaller crowd for another smaller event. But even after that event, I was like, yo, this is cool. This is what I really wanted. But in the back of my mind, I was like, I want to do this again, but bigger and better. And so I tried to manifest that for so long, and it finally happened. So if anyone believes in manifestation, you could ask me about it if you don't, because I feel like I've been able to manifest a lot of things that have come to fruition for me.
Was this your biggest show to this point?
In terms of people I've opened for, like in generally speaking, maybe top 3. But for me personally, it was like my biggest one, just because it was of who it was, and like, you know, it was for the Filipino community, and it was with Passion and Gabe, which was crazy. So I think in my personal career, like it's like top of the list. And on top of the fact, like I got to, like, they weren't kicking people out of backstage, which was like kind of weird, but also kind of cool. So I got to stay backstage for the whole time, and like where they were waiting to go on stage, I was just hanging with them there, and I would like chill and talk. I almost didn't go backstage. I was like, I don't want to be that guy.
Well,
you
I
know?
don't think they would have kicked you off like you're one of the performers.
Yeah,
right?
but it was like almost all the performers left like right after we all finished performing. But I was like, if I leave, I feel like I'm not gonna be able to get back in because now the headliners are on, right?
Yeah.
So I was like, I'm gonna stay. I had family in the front, and like a couple of the homies were close to the front, so I got to be in front row. So at least I got to stay with them, but also be on that side of the fence. And then I saw Gabe just like hanging off on the side while Passion was going on, and I saw one of my homies. Shout out to Wes, because Wes and I had the best seats in the house, because he was on the same side as me. Like he didn't leave, he stayed. He was taking videos, and he was on the side of the stage. So I was like, if Wes is there, you know, I'm gonna see if I could just go hang up there too. So I ended up walking to the side of the stage, and like I stood there. I was like, no one's kicking me out. I'm gonna play it cool, and I'm gonna like see what goes on.
Well, you just probably look like you're part of his entourage.
Well, I mean, I had my wristband and
Yeah,
stuff, and like the organizers knew me, and I wasn't being like weird or anything.
Yeah.
It like at the very most, I was kind of just lingering around that area longer than I should have. But I was like, yo, I worked my ass off to get here, and you know the opportunity presented itself. So I'm not gonna, because of feeling weird, I'm not gonna not take advantage of this and not be able to chill off to the side and hang with them. It was like, yo, it was mad cool. Like they're both super dope to talk to and hang with. And I even got to just like, just chill with them on the side of the stage while we were watching the other one perform.
Yeah.
It was like really weird, really cool. I didn't want to like linger too long and be like weird, and just kind of be like, so good show, huh?
I would have.
Yeah. Here's my Spotify. I don't want to be like that. But at the very least, I wanted to be within eye and earshot long enough for them to like remember me. And Passion, I did like a piano video like a long time ago, like just me playing piano over one of his songs. And he followed me on Instagram from that. So he'll see my posts every now and then. And he remembered me because of the hat. So he remembered me by face when I finally ran into him. So that was cool. So to know that I'm like in their memory banks now, it's like kind of a big deal.
Yeah, no, absolutely. To me, would you say idol? Like, well, like,
Yeah,
like, you know, somebody you listen to.
Yeah,
or-
idols and inspirations, and like
Yeah.
you know how they say don't meet your idols.
yeah.
Like they were like really cool to me and talk to and hang with, and yeah, it was really dope. I was gonna say something else, but I completely forgot what I was going to say.
Well, I'm happy for you. That's a pretty dope moment.
Yeah, and you know I'm just hoping to get like I applied for a couple new things this year, so I'm hoping to get some bigger performances going on this year, and like that performance, like I did not expect that at all. So you know, for it to come out of left field and like present itself is really cool. So
Yeah, you have to manifest being with the Brat tour next.
yeah, Brat tour. I'm gonna do
Billie Eilish.
guest remix.
Yeah.
Guess the color of my panties. I was gonna say one more thing in regards to that, but I don't remember. It was like something relevant to it. If it comes to me, it'll come to me. But that was my highlight. Your highlight was cool. My highlight was better, but you know.
Your highlight was a real highlight. Yours a real career highlight. Mine was a nerd highlight.
It's a personal. They're both personal highlights, but still pretty dope and impressive.
You at least got paid for your highlight.
Wait, paid? No, I did get paid. So yes, shout out to Phil Fest. Like I've done a good handful of performances. Like I'm at this point in my career where I don't like. It depends on who it is, but I don't like doing those exposure performances or like the pay to play.
Right.
Like sell these tickets and you know we'll let you in if you sell like 40 tickets. I'm like I would rather do open mics and work for my own opportunities and be able to perform for these places for where people want me there.
Yeah.
Because of like what I submitted and what they see in me, not having to pay to perform at these things where you know it might not even be anything at the end of it. So I've done a bunch of those back in the days, and like a couple of them were really sketchy. So I'm over that.
Well, you learned.
Yeah, I can't be bothered with that. But yeah, so to be able to get into this point where I can like apply to things where I'm headlining for really dope artists that I grew up listening to is really cool. To that, I can't even remember what I was gonna say at that last thing. So let's move on and let's get into a game. You ready for a game?
Sure.
Yeah. So we were talking about the past and our past highlights. So let's talk about a couple of music related things from the past. We're gonna do this or that music edition. So I'm gonna say one thing or the other thing. You have to pick one between the two. You can't be in the middle.
Do I have to explain why?
Yeah,
or?
pick one and explain why, and then I'll give you my pick and I'll explain why.
All right.
We got 3 questions for this, and then we're gonna move on into talking about the future. But let's talk into the past first. These are pretty divisive at times. I feel like you have a couple definitive answers for some. I feel like you may not for others, but let's find out. You ready?
Sure.
All right. This or that music edition. Number 1, Illmatic or Reasonable Doubt?
Okay, come on, that's easy. For me anyway, Illmatic.
And why?
Well, I already think it's probably the best hip hop album ever. I would say probably definitely or at least the 90s. I mean, like this is probably sacrilege to say now, and a lot of old heads would probably disagree. But like, I can't think of anything better than Illmatic other than maybe Dark Twisted Fantasy.
Well, we can't say that.
Which is canceled now. I'm canceled.
Yeah.
But
You're never coming back here.
yeah, I think Illmatic is just like the peak poetry and lyricism of 90s hip hop, and especially of Nas's career, and you know, just coming out as a 21-year-old.
He was like 19 at the time.
Like Guns Blazing.
Something like that.
Another underrated thing about Illmatic, I don't even know if it's underrated, man. Like, because everyone,
it's definitely not underrated.
Yeah, we talk, like people talk. We've been talking about this album for 20 years. Like the producers on Illmatic are crazy. Like you got Q-Tip, Premier on it, Large Professor, like some of the best producers at the time, making beats for him. Like they released another like a deluxe edition,
the 25th anniversary,
which is
Yo,
also
it goes
crazy.
Equally as hard, yeah.
It goes crazy.
You and
man.
I got
like,
a couple. We have a couple favorites on there that we like. We bump. the
Reasonable
regular.
Doubt is an amazing album too, also obviously. But it's not my favorite Jay-Z. Well, actually, it might be. Like it's that or Blueprint, which he might also be canceled. So I don't know. I don't know.
Why did I invite you today, man?
Well, that was.
I gave you a list of people we can't talk about. No,
you said
I
Jay.
did. Yeah, I did.
But yeah, no, like Reasonable Doubt's amazing too, obviously. But I think that like the reason why I would stray towards Illmatic more is because Nas eventually ends up becoming like that mafioso rapper. Like it was written as like his like drug dealer album, where Illmatic is very much like it just sounds like a really smart high school dropout from the project writing.
It's like
lyrics.
90s slice of life.
Yeah, exactly.
Like 90s hood
Exactly.
slice of life.
Exactly. And you get it from like a really specific, poetic, articulate perspective. Like he really does sound like a street poet, like in a lot of
Yeah.
those songs. Like One Love is an incredible, like just incredible storytelling. Halftime is amazing, and It Ain't Hard to Tell and Halftime are like some of the best like braggadocious rap that you'll ever hear. And like I don't, Life's a Bitch is just an amazing amazing
One of the
amazingly
hardest
produced
feature
songs.
verses of all time.
Yeah, and his dad plays the trumpet on it at the end.
does
I
he?
think. Yeah, because it says like featuring Oludar. I'm not sure. I want to. Don't quote me on that. We need a back check. But like, yeah, it's also one of my favorite albums ever. So it's like,
Cool.
Yeah.
So that's an easy pick
okay,
for you.
what is yours? Sorry,
Mine is also Illmatic.
Why? Sorry, I felt like I hogged the mic on that.
For everything that Rendell said. All right, moving forward. No, I mean, it's like if you were to, in my perspective, if you were to think of like one album to encapsulate the sound of 90s hip hop, that's the one.
Yeah.
Just to, 90s East Coast hip hop. You can't, I'm not going to shun the West, but like if there's one album to be like, hey, this is what 90s hip hop sounded like, you're going to show Illmatic.
It's either that or 36 Chambers. If I'm gonna pick a 90s.
See, I'm as much of a woo head as I am. I like 36 Chambers is that sound, but it also starts to get derivative from like niche. You know what I mean?
It is, yeah.
Like not niche, but just like it's its own specific sound. Whereas Illmatic is like the hip hop sound.
Yeah.
Like you're gonna find elements of Illmatic in 36 Chambers, but you're not gonna find elements of 36 Chambers, unique elements of 36 Chambers in Illmatic.
Yeah, I see what you're saying, because it's a lot of like, kung fu flick samples.
That's
and
like their shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
Illmatic really does have just like all of the best producers working with this guy who's probably the best rapper at the time.
And 36 Chambers will be like if you wanted to make your own sound and show everyone how you nerd out about certain things, but put it in music. This is
and
how
make
you
it very
do it.
New York, and very Staten Island.
Yeah, it's very them, and it's very New York, and it's very Shaolin. You know what I mean? As opposed to Illmatic, it's very like hood 90s.
Yeah,
like just overall. So, I guess we both agree on that. No,
so talk more about Jay-Z if you.
No, next question. Next question. All right, we're gonna do this or that music edition. Music producers. This is production only, so don't consider like production with certain artists. But if you go production only, DJ Premier or Dr. Dre.
Damn.
Choose one.
Like career-wise, or
like who has your more favorite beats, or whose production do you like better?
Oh my god, that is hard.
It's funny because for these questions too, I'm like writing them out, and for you, it's like I'm not gonna tell you, I'm not gonna prompt you. I'm still deciding over
This
who I
is
want.
a great question, I think. But it kind of.
I feel like it's like I know they're both so different that it's hard to pick.
Yeah.
But at the same, and it if one person likes East Coast better, they might go Premier. One person likes West Coast, they might go Dre.
It
But
kind
I
of
feel
has
like
similar. Sorry,
but they're like that. Like back in those times, they were like the top of the top that defined those sounds of each side of the coast.
This is similar to what you were saying with like 36 Chambers and Omatic, where DJ Premier just does his thing so well and was doing it with multiple artists. Like with Premier, if you're gonna choose Premier, you get J. Rue, you get Group Home, you obviously get
Group
his
Home.
stuff with
Group Home was my shit.
Gangstar, and obviously a bunch of the New York guys. But man, Dr. Dre, like obviously you're gonna get NWA. You'll get him, Snoop, Tupac,
Eminem,
50 Cent, Kendrick. Like it's hard to go against Dre just because of like the sheer like you can argue that Dr. Dre is the producer of like the best what people would think are the best rappers every decade, right? Like you know, he has Ice Cube in the 80s, 90s, Tupac and Snoop, 2000s it's 50 Cent, and then 2010s it's Kendrick. Like I don't know how much he was involved in doing Good Kid, but like he has a couple tracks on.
yeah.
And he's very much Kendrick's very much a Dr. Dre protege, right? Like
Yeah. I mean, yeah, the more I think about it, it's harder to compare.
okay, you answer first.
Actually, yeah. I thought with your description, I thought you were leaning more Dre. So, but who are you leaning more towards, based on all of that you just said?
I love them both, man.
You gotta pick one. You gotta pick one.
You know what? Since I chose, well, no, they were both okay. Let's just say favorites.
I think I have my
Dre,
answer
like,
already.
I'll just do Dre. I mean, like, yeah, you get NWA, like that's, and Eminem. Like, I love Eminem. Like, he hasn't made like great music.
His
in a
last
while.
album was actually pretty good.
Yeah. I need it. I'm late on that, but I don't. Yeah, no. I'll just go Dre. Sorry.
All right. I think I'm gonna go Premier. I like Dre has some of the cleanest sound, and he's evolved exponentially every decade that he's been through. And to your other points, he's worked with all the best artists and all that. But like, just for me as a musician myself, like, and knowing that, so like, Dre, his quality and style has always like been on the up and up. Premier, not that his has never moved up, but I've seen a couple interviews where he says he still uses the same MPC 60
That's cool.
that he's used since back in the days. Like, he's never really changed. And this is as far as I know or remember, but he's never really changed the way he does his production, even the gear and stuff like that. So he's been doing the same thing off the same machine for so long, and he's mastered his own sound and his own style, and like he knows exactly what he needs to do and how to do it, and does it in this one machine all the time. You know what I mean? And for me, like, anytime I'm looking up like beats to freestyle to, I'm always looking for something like Premiere adjacent.
Yeah.
Or even just Premiere in general. Like, I can freestyle all the live long day off of Premiere joints, but I could probably do it to Dre too, but just I'm more leaning Premiere when it comes to stuff like that.
Well, it's more just like classically like that New York boom bap versus Dre.
I mean, we are on the East Coast, so you know.
I think the more they're talking about it, the more I want to switch if I'm choosing like favorite. But I was just thinking of like just Dre's impact is so huge on hip hop.
I feel like the next one might be a little harder. I don't even know what I'm gonna say for this one, but here's the last one for this or that music edition. We're gonna go Raekwon or Ghostface Killer.
That's not that hard for me, man.
Really?
That's not,
Shit, okay. For me, it's I don't know. I think I kind of lean one, but yeah, who would you pick, Ray or Ghost?
Well, if it's not Nas as my favorite rapper, Ghostface is probably my favorite rapper. No disrespect to Raekwon, who I think is amazing. Funny story about Raekwon that I don't know if I like can tell, but I'm gonna tell anyway. But I had a buddy who used to work at like a music distribution thing, and they told this story about Raekwon.
Is it a bad story?
No.
Okay.
I think it's kind of funny. Okay. I don't think it makes him look bad. But apparently they took Raekwon to a restaurant, and they said like Raekwon didn't even look at the menu, and like the waiter was like, "Oh yeah, like what do you like? What would you want? Like what do you want from like to eat?" And Raekwon was like, "Chicken parm." It's like, well, we don't have that. He's like, "I want chicken parm." I just thought that was so bad.
I want to be able to do that.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds like something he would do.
Yeah. I'm gonna pull up to a McDonald's and be like, I want truffle fries. Not your fries. I want truffle fries, but different fries.
When I was told that story, I imagined Raekwon like the with white tablecloth, just wearing the darkest sunglasses, like gold on, and just saying he wants chicken parm with like a silky shirt or something. Like this guy's so cool.
That's sick.
Anyway, I would pick Ghostface. He's probably
based on that story.
I heard some stories about Ghostface too that I don't want to say, but like, he's probably my favorite rapper. The 2000s rappers I often get most attributed to being coke rap are obviously Pusha T and Malice, so like Clips, right? Like they're the drug dealers and they're pushing coke is like that's a lot of their music. But in my humble opinion, like just like Ghostface's energy and his delivery, his like just
and consistency too.
Yeah, stream of consciousness like type of like flow is like the most coked out energy in my opinion of any rapper, and I love it. I am from Iron Man, because if you choose Ghostface, you get obviously all his Wu-Tang stuff, but from Iron Man you get Supreme Clientele, and then Fish Scale, more Fish, big like his 2000 stuff, and he's still doing like we saw him last year or 2 years ago.
I know we saw him.
He still brought it, man.
You were there?
Yeah.
It was just us two, right?
I think it was at the Danforth.
Yeah.
And he was so good. Yeah.
That's when he brought Conway out?
Yeah.
Okay.
No, not well, maybe it was Conway, but someone from Griselda was there.
Yeah, it was Conway.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was sick, man. He was amazing. But yeah, who are you picking?
I think I'm gonna have to go same, and I'm gonna go Ghost. Like as classic as Cuban Links is, Ghost still has like a long body of work that's like it's been consistently great from like the early 90s to the early 2000s and so on, and he's still making like dope shit today. And like he makes stuff like he'll make stuff like Supreme Clientele, and then he'll make stuff like Iron Man, but then he'll make stuff like Ghostini, Wizard of Poetry, which is my favorite shit. My favorite shit.
That is an R&B record.
Can't tell me otherwise.
Yeah, man. He's so versatile.
Yeah. Like, for him to be able to do different stuff like that, and for me to like love each style that he does, it's like it makes it so fun, and the fact that he's still doing it now,
he's
and
still cranking them out, man. He had an album with Bad Not Good that was really good.
Yeah, he's like raised dope. I mean, it is hard to compare both, but if I had to choose one to like listen to, oh man, I was gonna say listen to the rest of my life. That's a different story.
My it's not even like I love Raekwon, love chicken parm Raekwon, but Ghostface gets it for me. Like I would choose him probably. Like the only rapper I would choose over Ghostface is maybe Nas, but like right now, like in my stage in my life, like I prefer Ghostface. Like,
cool.
He's probably my favorite rapper.
Dope. All right.
Because you still get his Wu-Tang stuff.
Yeah,
right.
That's true. Yeah. All right. I guess we're only divisive on the Premier Dre, but like we picked pretty much the same for.
Those were all great questions. You caught me off guard.
Came up with that about 2 hours ago. Because we had to.
Okay, well, before we move on, what's your favorite Wu-Tang solo then?
Solo album?
Yeah, Wu-Tang affiliate solo. Capadonna.
I would probably say Cuban Links.
Okay.
Yeah, like in my top tier members are like Meth Ghost Ray. But the one album that I'll always go back to is Cuban Links.
And
even Cuban Links 2 was great.
Cuban Links 2 is so good.
Yeah.
So good.
I feel like they have like, there are a few songs that are like kind of sisters or sequels to like the first songs. But yeah, like for him to come out with a part 2 that's like still dope it's it's hard to do sequels within movies or music that live up to those first ones at least.
I loved listening to Only Built 2 because like, so we were in high school. That's when I like, well, yeah, that's when I started getting really, really. We're both in high school. Started getting really, really deep into Wu-Tang. You already were, and like just loving all the '90s stuff. And like there is a dip in quality after Only Built for Cuban Links, and even just like the 2000s Wu-Tang stuff isn't as good or as legendary as like Wu-Tang Forever or 36.
Yeah.
Like they're still great, right? Like pink, like not, it's not Pinky, like the one with Pinky Ring. Anyway, you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah,
The last two solos, but Only Built for Cuban Links 2 was just like, damn, these guys still got it.
Yeah.
And it's like so deep in the game. Like they're 15 years in, and it's like Raekwon, like it sounded like Inspector Deck got his voice back. Like Raekwon sounded a little bit older, just like, and his voice was just a little bit deeper. You know what I mean? Like probably smoking a lot.
I miss his. I like both his voice styles, but I do miss his like more high energy or higher pitch.
It's his...
But now he's just like chilling, like chicken parm Ray.
Yeah, man, he's done it all. Like he's at the top of the mountain.
Yeah.
Like I don't blame him. Like
Chicken
eventually
parm Ray,
he's just he's probably smoked so much in his life. Like partied so much.
Yeah.
I love him. I love them all. I hope they don't
20 more albums.
Yeah, man.
20 more albums each.
And also just underrated. Like they're all great. Like Liquid Swords is one of the best albums of the 90s. RZA is a filmmaker now. Like,
He's everything. He's been everything.
He's an artist, chess master. He wrote.
He's a chess grandmaster too,
two
right?
books, I think, which G owns somewhere in here.
I have one. I really need to bring that out because I got it. I told you I got it signed by their Sifu, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, you did.
I went to the temple and everything. It was crazy.
Yeah.
It's like in that room over there.
And if Wu-Tang ever actually listens to this, if the RZA listens to this, I do have an idea for a Wu-Tang biopic that I think is...
I have one. It's called, I want to call it an American Saga.
Rendell is the 11th member of Wu-Tang.
Yeah, I want to do like a Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, but have me as like one of the members.
Look, okay, I'm just gonna say here because it's not even my idea, and they already kind of have it. So you watch the show? Do you watch? Okay, so my idea for a micro biopic of the Wu-Tang movie is they. I remember reading in the chapter in the Wu-Tang manual that the day that they were recording "Protect Your Neck" was like a really hectic day, and they basically like RZA had like this ad out of like all like any MC that wanted to go like. Rap on the record. Mm-hmm. Like, do you remember anything like that? No. Okay. I just want I want to make the movie that shows all of their like what they were all doing the day before they go to record.
Yeah.
Protect Your Neck. You know what I mean? Because apparently you just got out of jail or something, or like. And they're all parts of like different parts of New York, like Meth and like Ghost or like Staten Island, and like just having to go to the RZA. Like
the only thing, I see your idea. The only thing is, if every member had a captivating thing that happened to them that day, like legitimately, like you can't no faking, no front, nothing. Like,
well, it's a movie. I want
to
make it.
So it's like a Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, like like skewing history.
Why not, man? Come on.
Yeah, no, that'd be cool.
Does the show talk about that at all? Sorry, I didn't watch the show.
Kinda, yeah. They do like backstories on like what happened on certain days, certain music video shoots, certain recording sessions. But when you were talking about like an idea for that, the first thing that came to mind was like a Key and Peele skit of like every other rapper who didn't make it and like what their audition was.
That would be a good one.
And you can have like MC Hammer type guys coming in, or like Milli Vanilli type people, or like just really shit people, and like every other person that like auditioned but didn't make it.
That RZA had the X.
Yeah. And like it could be like the football skit, and it could be like everyone could have like weird ass names, and like just weird ass rap styles would be jokes.
Yeah,
great idea.
The non Wu-Tang members that didn't make it.
Yeah, Wu-Tang Kent.
Nice.
Stupid. I'm gonna redact that. Anyways, okay, so just one more thing before we get into We're gonna talk about movies real soon, but let's talk about one more thing, music related. What's your most anticipated concert or music event of 2025? Something that you're going to, or something that you like, that you're excited to see happen in 2025, music related.
So, okay, can I cheat? I'm just gonna just pick one. Just pick one.
One.
All right, I'm gonna do one. Sorry. I'll do one, and it's gonna be Jamie XX. He's spinning at History in like 2 weeks, like January 15.
Are you going?
Yeah. So you'll get tickets if you want to take a look.
Yeah, maybe.
Yo, just go, man. There's me, Arya going, Alan, Adria. Anywho, it's gonna be like a rave. So that if that sells
True.
you at all. But I'm excited to that. His album was pretty great. It was great, electronic dance music. And one thing that as I said, like when I have one of these shows that I go to, I do like a deep dive. So I did a deep dive of like the XX. So I've already listened to their albums, but I did another re-listen. Do you know who the XX are, right?
Jamie XX is part of the XX?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, I didn't know this.
Yes.
Okay.
He's the producer of like their the whole sound is kind of like he's kind of responsible for it. Anywho, I did the XX and I was listening to Jamie XX's stuff, and I was listening to the other members. So Romy, who is the guitarist
by Beanie Siegel? Love that song.
she's the guitarist and co-vocalist on the XX. She released her first solo album in 2023, and it's an incredible dance pop electronic. I was showing you her Boiler Room set.
Yeah.
Right.
And, yeah. I made the same Beanie Siegel joke that time too.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So, but the reason why I brought it up.
Oh, sorry, not Beanie Siegel, Beanie Man. Wow. Pardon my French.
The reason why I brought it up is because Jamie XX and Romy, they kind of blew up during like in the 2000s. They got more popular when we were like in high school and then after high school. So they're like around our age. They actually are our age. Like Jamie XX is like 34, 35 or something, I think. Anywho, my point is, I love that in their 20s they were making like these like indie electronic pop music, and now like in their 30s they're making like club records, and they're still like ready to rave and like as
you feel like it
millennials.
should have been backwards.
Yeah, exactly. But they're still ready to party, and yeah, man, it's gonna be a fun crowd.
Sick. My choice is the Grand National Tour. Kendrick and SZA.
Nice.
Got tickets for that.
Millennials still doing it too. Those two get yeah.
So yeah, like I'm excited to do that. It's gonna be at Sky Dome. I'm excited to like sing and rap my ass off and like just go wild. I may or may not have a show that same weekend, so depending on when that show gets booked, I may or may not be able to scream as loud. That's the only thing I'm worried about. Because I don't want to like damage my voice before having a real big show. But yeah, so I'm excited for that. Cause I'm just excited to see what that Kendrick Lamar in Toronto energy is going to be. And just like, I feel like it's going to be a really, really big event that's going to pop off here. Hopefully it stays positive within the city. I feel like it will.
I hope so.
But it's going to be real fun. It's going to be like, that's definitely going to be a highlight for concerts this year. I think I only have that one. Oh, I have that ticket, and I have Lauren Mayberry ticket for this year so far. That's it. Shout out to Churches. Yeah, I'm excited for that in the summer. It's going to be crazy. But yeah, so that wraps up the music portion. We're going to do something similar, but in terms of movies this time, and we're going to start off with a game. Are you ready for round 2 of This or That?
Yes.
All right. We got about 15 minutes left, so let's try to consolidate these answers a little bit more. But yeah, so we have 3 questions for This or That movies. Fourth quarter for the Raps game. Not bad. Perfect timing. At least we get to do both, which is jokes.
Yeah.
We got the Raps game playing in the corner. Go Sports. All right, here we go. This or That movies edition. Question number 1. For horror movies, do you prefer supernatural horrors or realistic horror movies? So like creature features, spiritual, demons, or stuff like serial killers, anything realistic based in realism.
Okay, that's another really tough question. Okay, so I will just say nothing really scares me now because I'm an adult. But when I was, so I'll answer this question as a child, and what definitely did scare me was more supernatural stuff. So because of my Catholic guilt and being raised Catholic, that I was probably like, I was, you know, not. I was probably the most scared of things like that, like being like possessed, exorcists. I wasn't really scared of like monsters and stuff, but I was definitely scared of like anything that's like Catholic related because it's so creepy, man. Like Catholics are creepy. We are pretty scary.
Yeah, there's like it's a lot of creepy lore around that subject, and it's and definitely being raised Catholic and Christian, like it probably gave us a bit more of a scare factor than other people who weren't raised that way.
So you're counting supernatural like
anything,
ghosts, right?
anything that's not confirmed, like not confirmed realism.
Yeah, definitely more supernatural. Like, yeah, serial killers are obviously like scary. Like, you know, honestly, right now, what's more scary than a serial killer is probably a mass shooter. Like that's
I mean, that's still
that is a serial
realism,
killer.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, I'm the same. So my choice is also supernatural. Like I feel like realism is cool, and like, you know, like true crime docs are interesting and stuff. I'm not the type to be like, I cuddle up to true crime docs.
yeah,
in the
I'm
middle
not,
of the
I'm
night.
not like that.
I cuddle up to like watching The Exorcist alone or some shit like that. You know what I mean? Like I like the non-realism of it, and like just being able to dive into a fantasy that's like not real, and like just being able to see cool like creatures and cool things that might not be able to happen in real life that still scare me in a weird way that makes it look real. So I really like that aspect of things. So I guess we both agree on supernatural.
Yeah, and one thing before we move on, like, do you ever like have just like horrors, like I vividly remember watching The Exorcist like for the first time, and I was like, because it was like a rite of passage in my family. They'd be like, oh, you have to watch, this is the scariest thing ever. And like, you know what I mean, like, because like my family's like kind of religious, or like they're pretty religious, so like they kind of like thought it was like real. You know what I mean?
This actually happened.
Yeah.
What was your question?
Did you well, I don't know my question. I guess I just wanted to say like remember it vividly. No, we can move on.
For me, I think I rented it from like the library when I first watched it. I think
School library?
No, like public library.
Oh, sick. It's probably haunted, bro.
I feel like it's yeah. I feel like it's one of those horror movie rite of passages.
Yes.
And I remember, so that's your memory of back in the days. I think one of my memories was like someone was like, we're not allowed to watch this on Christmas because it's, you know,
yeah, okay,
it's Jesus' day.
yeah.
It's not the demon's day.
I guess that was more or less my question, because like I know like there's always like these like taboos around exorcists, especially like Filipinos, man. Like we definitely like think this movie is cursed.
Yeah. One of my funny taboos, and this is a personal thing, this is not like that I heard this around. I've never seen Passion of the Christ, because the only way I was like closest to seeing it was to download it illegally, and I felt like I'd probably get like a couple hundred years in purgatory for watching Passion of the Christ but downloaded illegally. And I've never heard that from anyone else. It was like a personal thing to me. I felt bad about trying to do that.
I get your logic.
Yeah.
It tracks.
Yeah. If I have to watch this, it has to be pure. I gotta buy it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was just me. All right, so let's go to question number 2. This or that movie edition. Classic Disney movies or Pixar movies? If you had to pick one.
Classic
Disney, we're talking about like 2D, like early 90s.
Yeah.
Or Pixar, everything in the Pixar roster.
Yeah. So okay. So this one's easy for me, but also I don't want to disrespect the great Walt Disney. Obviously, like the 90s run of the Disney animation, I think are like some of the best musicals that you'll probably catch, like from like Little Mermaid and then Aladdin and Lion King, like those just bangers. But one of my favorite movies of all time is Toy Story. So if I'm gonna choose, I have to pick Pixar.
I disagree.
Going,
I highly disagree.
Yeah.
I mean, not highly disagree, but like for me, my top 3 favorite Disney movies are all from. Would that be top? Yeah, I guess it's top 3. My top 3 Disney movies are in no particular order: Lion King, Beauty and the Beast, and Aladdin.
I can't argue.
Yeah, all in that classic 2D Disney era. So I would have to go 2D Disney over Pixar just because that's where my heart lies. And that's why I was wondering if, like, I'm asking these questions because I didn't know what your answers would be.
Yeah.
Like, I kind of knew, but not really. So I was interested to
Do you
find out.
also get Little Mermaid 2? like
Yo,
all those shitty ones.
my sister got Little Mermaid 2 for a birthday one year, and I've watched it. So yes, like Return of Jafar,
Return of Jafar.
banger from what I remember.
Lion King
Little
2
Mermaid
is so
2,
bad. Simba's
banger.
Pride. Like
Lion King like 1.5. I didn't really fuck with. I didn't fuck with those, but like I did fuck with those like random offshoots. I think I watched Leroy and Stitch like once. I liked him because his number was 625, and that used to be my old number back in the day, so I resonated with him a lot. I count all those offshoots just as much as we have to count like Good Dinosaur and Cars and shit.
Here's the thing. Like for me, Cars never hit, but my one of my nephews who was born in 04 loved Cars. Like there's Gen Z people who love, like Gen Z kids who love Cars. Like that era of Pixar is strong.
To each
for
their
them.
own.
Yeah, that it was whatever. It's mid.
I mean, yeah.
To
we
me,
all
it's a little mid.
Yeah.
Right?
That's like how people grew up with Future, and like people are like, Future is the greatest rapper of all time. But for us, we're like, no, it's not.
Yeah,
It's Illmatic. Like, you know, just different times for different people.
That actually did happen to me when I was practice teaching in 2010, 2011. Like, and these kids were only like 3 or 4 years younger than me, and they asked me who my favorite rapper was, and like one of the kids, I remember his name. His name was Fabian. He said Future, and I was like, who the hell is that?
Yeah.
But now he's one of the biggest rappers ever. So
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, like I said,
can't
different
hate.
times for different people.
Fabian was right.
Yeah, who knows? But yeah, all right. One more question for this or that movie edition. This is like a very you question, but you have to pick one: Tarantino or Wes Anderson.
Oh, damn.
You can only, like, if you were like stuck on an island and you can only bring one director's catalog, which catalog would you bring? Because I know you're a huge Wes Anderson person, and I know you love Tarantino flicks as well. So, yeah, who would you pick between the two?
You chose. Okay, that's a great question.
I know, and I also know they're very different styles of directors, but they also have their own style, which is why they can kind of be comparable.
Yeah. I'm picking Tarantino, and like, I love Wes Anderson, so don't get me wrong, but like, if I'm getting Tarantino, and I'm gonna cheat and get all of Tarantino's like ghostwriting and like his screenplays, because you get True Romance. He ghost wrote on Crimson Tide, so I get that as well. That's an amazing movie. I'm picking Tarantino. Plus, I just think it'd be a better time to pass my time on a desert island. You get a lot of great music.
You get Kill Bill.
Yeah,
1 and 2.
it counts as one movie.
Yeah. Either way, you get Kill Bill, and you get like.
And whatever the 10th movie he plans to make, you're gonna get. So, but Wes Anderson's still an amazing director too. Obviously, how about you?
This question isn't fair for me because I'm not well versed in Wes Anderson. Like this is.
You watched the Astro City with us, didn't you?
Yeah. But I've never really watched like Darjeeling Limited and Life Aquatic and stuff like that. But I know like you and CJ like talk about shit like that all the time, and I just like I'm the way I know him best is just his cinematography and the style, like the visual style of his movies.
Yeah, he's kind of like a meme now.
But I've never watched enough of his movies to like know what's what and like what each of these movies are, so I can't be like, you know. But Tarantino, I've watched most of his movies. Like I'm missing like Jackie Brown. I'm missing a couple of the earlier ones. But everything else I've seen, like, classics to me.
Yeah.
And like I said, Kill Bill, we
Yeah.
get Pulp Fiction, we get, those movies. So my obvious choice is Tarantino.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that concludes
Django, bro.
Yeah, the Django Unchained.
The Django is amazing.
I've only ever seen Django, I think, once.
I think
have
I
to-
watched that at Christmas Day with my family, and it was one of the best Christmas movies. Well, movies released on Christmas that we watched. I was like, oh, this is so sick.
One of the only Christmas movies I remember watching. We played a drinking game with my cousins one year. They're from the States and they came down, and we played a drinking game to, like, I think it was Batman Begins.
Nice.
And got real fucked up, and just based off of, like, whatever the rules of the drinking game was for the movie, we drank Tanduay. Shout out to Tanduay Rum. Please sponsor us. That'd be great.
What was the rule? Like Batman
No,
voice?
you know how they have, like, those movies, like,
Yeah.
like every movie has, like, a drinking game. It's like, hey, drink every time this character says this, or every time you see this happen. I don't remember what the rules were specifically, but I remember, like, we got pretty mosh up, so it was fun.
Nice.
But yeah, those conclude we concluded the music portion of games and highlights, and then the movies portion of games. What's your most anticipated movie of the year?
Oh, damn.
And keep in mind we have, like, less than 5 minutes left, so let's keep it snappy. I have, like, this and one more thing to mention.
Honestly, I don't really know what is coming out on top of my head, but I do know that Sinners is coming out, which is Ryan Coogler's and Michael B. Jordan's vampire
Oh,
movie.
yeah.
So
That looks good.
that I'm going opening night, man.
Sick.
Like, come on, I'm kind of sick. I'm not sick, but I'm kind of done with Dracula vampires. I want to see other vampire stories.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like we watched. G and I watched both Nosferatu
I've watched, like,
before.
800 vampire movies in the
Yeah.
past, like, 2 weeks. Not that I'm over it, but it was
These
just
ones
like,
are black vampires.
Yeah,
so
like, cool. Yeah, it's gonna be different. Yeah,
it's gonna be different.
Yeah, I'm off top. I think I'm most excited for Fantastic Four, just because, like, it's like I'm still a huge MCU fan, but I want to see, like, a really big swing, big hitter.
Is that
from
coming
them.
out for sure?
Yeah, summer. I think July
Oh damn.
2025.
So they're done shooting. It's all
I don't know if they finish. They probably finished shooting, but, like, it's underway.
Okay.
So yeah, that's my anticipated movie. One more thing before we wrap up. We have about 2 and a bit minutes. What is one thing, and keep it short, because mine is gonna be longer. What's one thing you're hopeful for 2025?
Yeah.
Excited to do or accomplish?
Well, hopefully we go on our trip to go see Salem.
Salem 2025.
Yeah. Hopefully all my homies eat and I eat also.
Of course.
And yeah, that's it, man. Just hope everybody it has more ups and downs in 2025.
Yes, I agree. For me, the one thing, and I've been hoping this for years because I've been working on this for years. But my biggest hope for 2025 is not hope, but it's going to happen. But I'm just excited to finish it. I'm dropping an EP this year called Love Sounds, and that's going to be dropping soon-ish. Finishing up right now, and it's going to be like every song. There's 7 songs on this, and every song is like R&B-ish, but then a different kind of R&B. Like one song is like R&B plus house. Another song is like R&B but like 90s hip hop. Another song is like new R&B. One song is like acoustic R&B. So yeah, I'm excited to drop Love Sounds. Just finishing it up. The rollout is going to be real fun. A lot of videos coming for it. And I've been working on some of these songs for like 6 years, 7 years. There's one beat on it that I just saw the file for it, and I made the beat like 10 years ago, like in 2014. So to finally be able to drop stuff that I've been holding for quite a while is going to be interesting. And to be able to do it through the good people at Trifecta Sound Co. and with the help of the good people at The Orchard with the new distribution deal we got is going to be real fun and interesting, and to see what happens out of that, and just to finally be able to release new music and be consistent with it is going to be real fun.
Best of luck, man.
I can't wait. Other than that, yes, we're actually going to finish on time without me rushing. Thank y'all for listening. tune in. We got a whole bunch of good episodes coming out through the rest of the year. Shout out to Trifecta Sound. Shout out to ISO Radio. Shout out to Rendell for pulling through again. See y'all next month. Peace.